Buongiorno and Happy Friday. It has been a week, and I'm so happy that we're almost done with August. September is almost here. Mercury retrograde is finally done. So that means this podcast might be a little bit easier to edit and upload. Good for me. Another amazing thing on the horizon, Fox and Toad magazine fall 2024 is officially launching on September 1st. I'm just so excited. I've already discussed the design aspect that went into it last week, but now the excitement of getting it in stores and having it be available to the public a little easier is just a very nerve wracking and exciting ball of energy that I carry in my gut for like weeks usually, but now that we're just like a few days out, we are so close. It's like I'm very excited and nervous about how it's going to be received. This past week, I did have a pre-order up on our Etsy, and out of 10 copies, 7 of them sold. That is that is so far the second best. That is the second best that I've had with Fox and Toad magazine. The first was winter 2024 because I promoted that everywhere I could on the internet. And I think winter had 14 pre-orders and I had 15 copies available for pre-order. And since then, it's been a little low. It's been closer to 5 or 6 for spring. Well, spring was actually only 4. Summer was either 5 or 6, and now we're at summer, which is at a solid 7. Maybe we'll get 3 more sales after the official release. Pretty much the pre-order, how I have it set up, is it's a little bit cheaper to entice people to purchase the magazine ahead of time. And then once I get the magazines from our printer, then I send it out. So getting fall to print was 8 days late, and the printer worked their magic. I was not supposed to get this in until like maybe today, maybe yesterday, and I got the physical copies, like the final ready to go copies, literally 5 days ago. So I have been able to actually package up these pre-orders and send them out, which in general is great, but for me that's a massive win. We were towards the end of Mercury retrograde. I was kind of fighting with certain technology to get bleed lines and crop lines in place, and even the printer had a issue at one point trying to get me a proof copy. And this is why I always do rough draft copies and I go to Staples. I just pay the money to get the print done at Staples so that I can actually page through and see, oh, there's a problem here, there's a problem there, or oh, this looks really good, or maybe I should switch this text and this photograph so that it reads a little bit better. Which, quick plug, on our Patreon, I finally got it set up for digital and for physical. So the lower, cheaper tier that I have in place right now is for people who are not located in the US, if they still want access to Fox and Toad magazine because they like to practice anything spiritual, metaphysical, witchy, whatever they choose or they practice, and they want to have access to the magazine. I finally got a Patreon tier set up for them so that they can have access to the digital release every quarter. Then I created a tier for the physical copy. And at first I wasn't sure how this was going to work, but Patreon now has this feature where you can request people's physical addresses, or at least a mailing address that is through like a secure network, and they will give that information to me so that I can then mail them a physical copy at the top of every quarter, just like anybody would have a monthly subscription to a magazine. I cannot wait to see how that goes. I just set it up a few days ago. That was on my task list for this week of work, and I'm excited. In every one of my pre-order letters that I wrote, I made sure to add that in saying, "Hey, if this is something that you enjoy, I now have a subscription service set up for you for a digital copy or for a physical copy." And either way, if you sign up for the physical copy, you get access to the digital one also. So that was one of my tasks that I had this week, on top of following up with some businesses to make sure they're ready for the release. And oh, that's another thing. Three, one, two, three, four businesses reached out wanting to carry Fox and Toad magazine, which is huge because there are some shops that have been with us since the beginning of 2024 that are closing their doors. There's also another shop that's closing their doors, and it makes me feel horrible because I can totally understand their struggle. And especially, I got to meet every single one of these owners. And the fact that online sales just do better for them is sad, but I'm glad that they are moving their business into that realm so that they can still keep operating as a small business and supporting their own families. So, needless to say, I had a few shops drop out, but in return, I got four more that reached out. So it's almost like a nice balance. That could kind of sum up all of 2024 for me. 2024 has been kind of crazy. It has been highs, lows, and everything in between, but everything goes right back to a nice medium balance. And that's the same thing with Fox and Toad magazine. We started with four core members, and we're kind of down to about like two, maybe three, but definitely two core members at this point. So it's been a lot of work for two people, but we're both really willing to put in the effort and the work and set time aside for the magazine. But besides that, I want to stay on the positive mindset for all of this because it's here. The fall magazine is here. It's our final publication for 2024. I've already started playing around with some of the layouts for winter of 2025, and it's looking perfect. I have definitely trimmed a lot of fluff to make room for potentially 14 to 16 articles. Like, to put this into perspective, I have 72 pages from cover to cover to fit in anywhere from 9 to 12 articles. On average, most of our articles take up 4 pages. For the fall publication that is coming out, I had to condense some articles down to 2 pages because we had 12 submissions. Technically, we had 13 submissions because I wasn't sure what I needed. And thankfully, I didn't need that other one. But we had 12 articles, and one of them is our feature piece at 8 pages. And 72 pages cover to cover, that leaves you about 68 pages left over to fit all of your information, your table of contents, your businesses, the coloring pages, because, for me, that's a core thing. I want to add the meditative coloring pages every single time, just in case. And I also really like the business cards, but if they don't trend well, then I guess I could always take them out. That would save 6 pages right there. But for winter 2025, I've adjusted the Oracle forecast. I've adjusted the legal information that I need to put in each publication. I've even adjusted our submission page. So now there's going to be room for potential advertisement space for the businesses that carry our magazine. A lot of these businesses that are still in brick and mortar uh, buildings here, they really are now moving towards events because it's just the way things are trending in our economy. Even though physical goods are kind of a core for how we do gift giving, for how we learn information, for how we sometimes practice our own spirituality, our own witchcraft. A lot of people just don't have the funding for it right now, but people are willing to pay for an experience, like pay for a moon ritual, to pay for a sound healing session, to pay for a Reiki session. Oh, I just hit the mic. Sorry. Um, so a lot of these physical locations are kind of trying to move in that direction while still having their retail shop open. So I've tried making room in the 2025 layout so that they are able to, you know, advertise their event that they might be holding or an event that they might be attending and selling at, which that's a whole nother thing. Uh, we had our first big vendor event I talked about last week in it was Miniature Market of Magic in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And the next one coming up, I'll talk more about it closer, but it's in October. It's like October 26th and 27th, which is the main Market of Magic event. But I'll talk about that then. So I've noticed a lot of these shops that we're associated with actually do vending events. So I wanted to make sure that they had a space in the magazine to let people know, hey, you can find us here because they carry us. And I know that some shops might not be able to bring us to their vendor event, but some of them are choosing to do that. That's also the same thing with some of the businesses that I'll be meeting with next week to see if we're a good fit. And if we are, they might even be bringing our magazine to their own vendor event. Either way, the goal is to create this network of metaphysical people and shops and places that feel safe for us to go to and to hang out and to feel like we're a part of a community or just something bigger. It's kind of my goal, and it's a little bit of an uphill battle because some shops have made it clear that they can get other kind of witchy publications for a lot cheaper or for free. And I'm just not there yet with that competition. Uh, some of that competition has been established for 50 plus years. So, of course, I'm nowhere near that. But hopefully, one day I will be able to be in that same realm as those bigger publishing metaphysical places. Or hopefully we can do some type of collaboration or helping each other out, because I, as much as competition is healthy, I really get this vibe and this feeling that our world needs to kind of move away from competitive stuff like that, move away from metaphysical shops competing with one another to get customers, instead of saying, hey, let's share our customer base. Let's try to bring everybody together so that the one person that lives down in Philadelphia, let's say they're out in Pittsburgh visiting family or friends, and now they're like, hey, I can actually go to this shop because I've heard about it in Fox and Toad magazine or in another publication. It's more or less supporting and offering that kind of camaraderie between each other, because ultimately at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, at least in this community. We all want the same thing. We all want to feel accepted. We all want to be able to practice our spirituality the way that feels correct to us. And we want to be able to support local small businesses. I'm pretty sure we're all over the big corporate stuff. So let's kind of help somebody out, let's maybe visit their shop, if even if it's like a 30-minute drive. Let's maybe go to the shop that's right down the street from us. And even if you don't get the smallest thing or you don't get anything at all, just going in or like liking something on their social media, it's such a big help. I mean, I've even felt this impact of one of my posts kind of went mini viral for Fox and Toad magazine this week. And it was actually shouting out the businesses that carry Fox and Toad magazine and some of the businesses that I hope to be in and some of the businesses that I just personally love and adore because they're brand new or they just started or they are places that I would like to reach into that area and get there. It's a whole thing when it comes to supporting one another. I'm very passionate about it, and I understand competition can be healthy, competition can be good, but I think when it comes to practicing spirituality, it comes down to camaraderie more than competition. And so far, I am extremely happy. I feel extremely blessed to be in this position that I had for businesses reach out. Two dropped out, four contacted me. Uh, there's no certainty that those four will take Fox and Toad magazine on, but if they do, then look at that. I just gained two more locations where people can have access to more information. And honestly, that's all I'm here for. I just want people to be able to express themselves. I want people to be able to claim that they're a published writer. I want to be able to give people maybe a different side of views that they can maybe incorporate in their own practices. Or maybe I'm just seeing the world through rose-colored glasses, but you know what? I'm kind of okay with that. And maybe not rose-colored. I feel like purple. Because I do have a pair of purple sunglasses, and every time I wear those, I do feel happy. So maybe I'm seeing the world through purple-colored glasses. But you know what? I think that's fine. I think that's just okay for right now. It's just enough delusion to convince me to keep pushing. So I would love to hear your thoughts. What are some of your thoughts on expanding a publication, a brand new publishing company for the metaphysical community? I'm always open to suggestions and what people might have to say, because if I'm closed minded, then that's not going to help anybody. I'd rather hear a lot of different viewpoints, wisdom, advice, because at the end of the day, this publication is not just for me. This is for a majority of people. And that's who I want to serve at the end of the day. I want to serve the majority of people in our community. And as long as it's for acceptance purposes, then absolutely yes. Like, we are here to create an acceptance space. We're here to lift up voices that may not be heard all the time. That's kind of what we're here for. But yeah. This is definitely getting a little bit longer for how I've been doing podcasting. But I hope that you have an amazing rest of your Friday. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday weekend if you are somebody that celebrates Labor Day. And I will catch you all next week with hopefully some more good news. And I will be putting all the links in the description below if you are interested in following the Fox and Toad magazine journey. And I think that's it. I'll talk to you all next week. Bye.